Hello everyone, Spectre here, back again with our Marvel Contest of Champions video. This time we're talking about the Summoner's Choice 2024, which is the 4th Summoner's Choice. And before I talk about anything in particular, let me just get out of the way. My first impression upon seeing this was, wow, these are some wacky characters, some oddballs. Like, if I'm going to be honest, I only think people will know 2 characters, Blob and Viper. And the rest of these, I'm like, dang, people are going to know who Shadra is or Ruby Thursday. So yeah, I just, first off, just right off the bat, like, wow, okay, these are some interesting characters for the Summoner's Choice. But I think it's fun because with all these characters being so like outlandish and out there, it makes me like think that, dang, I don't know who's going to win now. Because, obviously with Summoner's Choice 1, we all knew it was going to be Hercules. Summoner's Choice 2, we all knew it was going to be Quicksilver. Don't even try to be like, oh, but Bill had a chance. No, we all knew it was going to be Quicksilver. Even with last year's Summoner's Choice, it really came down. It was close between White Tiger and Gladiator, but it's like, yeah, I think we all knew Gladiator was going to win. But, yeah, with this year's, very, very interesting. And, yeah, we got Shadra, Beetle, Blob, Shriek, Swarm, Viper, also known as Madam Hydra, if you know her as Madam Hydra, Ruby Thursday, and Black Tarantula. And what I want to go over in this video is just briefly discuss each character, a couple minutes. Don't want to drag on too long with each character, and just go over their background, their origins, stuff like that, and then powers. And then after all that, I want to do a little speculation of what we can expect for each character. Again, totally speculation. I have no knowledge of how each character is going to play, but I'm sure we can make up some speculations due to what they can do and what they have done in the comics. But yeah, without further ado, we're just going to start Shadra and go up to down and then left to right. So, Shadra, Beetle, Blob, Shriek, Swarm, Viper, Ruby Thursday, and Black Tarantula in that order. So we're going to start off with Shadra now. Alright, so starting off, we have Shadra, also known as the Spider Wasp, which is, I guess, common aliases that she goes by. And just want to talk about the design real quick, because I was just like, whoa, she looks so cool. I'm very interested, like, if she gets added to the game, what she will actually look like, because it's such like a unique design where it's like, yeah, this pitch black character, it's also like very reflective as well. So I feel like she'd kind of be like have that void texture look to it, which is really cool. But yeah, just again, didn't know who this character was, but immediately it's like, whoa, she looks cool. But yeah, going into her origin, this is her prior to becoming the Spider Wasp, and yeah, this is Shadra, and essentially what her whole shtick is basically she is from a different universe, and she was the daughter of some goddesses, and she also had a sister. And they each are tasked with like trying to construct like the multiverse or that kind of stuff. And she made this thing called the Great Nest. And her sister Neith, again, don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but I'm going to say Neith. Her sister Neith saw a problem with the design and created the Great Web, which will later go on to become the Web of Life and Destiny, which, if you don't know, is the thing that connects all the Spider people together. Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Spider-Gwen, Miguel O'Hara, all them, they're all connected by the Web of Destiny. And so she is a very Spider-Verse oriented character. But going on, basically, all the guys are like, wow, Neith, the design is so crazy, so cool, perfect. You'll be leading the charge and creating the multiverse and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, filled with greed, rage, jealousy, all that kind of stuff. You go from Shadra, this little, normal looking person, to this creature of the night, which I think is really cool. And fun fact, her thing is that now in this new form, she wants to destroy all spiders, because obviously the Web of Life and Destiny, she views that as like, she was wronged by spiders, and so she's going after all the Spider-Men and just all the Spider-Men, and she wants to eat them and feed them to her young, which is pretty crazy. So yeah, that's her whole thing. Pretty cool, not gonna lie. And yeah, if we get into powers, it states that she has powers similar to Spider-Man. Those appear to his, which makes sense. I mean, she is like a goddess of like a multiversal being or whatever. I think she's like very powerful, and if you look at her stats, I mean, like, nothing crazy. Like, you expect some guys like her would have like maybe like 6s or 5s. Nah, very very weak. So I don't know. That's just her power level, but you know, she comes with superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, agility, and reflexes. Just normal superhero stuff, but she also has a superhuman sense of smell, which allowed her to start tracking down Spider-Man. So yeah, don't know how that can play, but maybe she can have some kind of a. She gets like some kind of bonus when against like Spider-Verse heroes. Like she's kind of like the Spider Slayer. I don't know. Definitely, it would make sense for her to counter Spider-Man. But yeah, that's just speculation. She also has a regenerative healing factor, which most Marvel characters do. But I don't know. Could probably potentially give us some sustain when playing her. Maybe even make her suicide friendly. Very interesting. Immortality, as most like Elder and Gods do have in Marvel, or just in general. So, don't know how they would play around with the immortality, or if they would play with it at all, because obviously, you know, Thor is immortal, Odin's immortal, but they don't really have an immortality kind of ability like Hercules, so don't know. She can fly, obviously, with her wings, and then shapeshifting. Don't know how they would play with shapeshifting, because again, that's like a reason why they haven't added Mystique yet, because they don't really know how to do that, but funny thing that happens. I was reading some things that she's done in on the wiki, and apparently she used this ability to target the Scarlet Spider. Why can't I say spider? Scarlet Spider. She used this ability to track down and potentially in the hopes of eating the Scarlet Spider by transforming into his girlfriend, sleeping with him, then revealing herself. So I thought it was funny that she was like, hold on, before I eat my food, I gotta fuck my food. You know, there's playing with your food, and then there's that. But I just thought that was funny. Don't know if they'll do anything with shapeshifting, but I don't know, be cool. She can teleport, so maybe she'd have like some kind of miss or evade mechanic. Claws and stingers, obviously. So, you know, obviously because she's like a wasp kind of creature thingy. So maybe she'd have like some neurotoxins as well, with poisons and bleed, because you know she'd be able to poison you and she'd have claws to bleed you, so maybe it could have like some kind of neurotoxin. That'd be kind of cool. And yeah, she has this wasp totem, which I think would most likely be the heart of her kit, kind of like how Annihilus has the cosmic control rod in his kit, and you can kind of like turn that off with like nullifying or whatever. So I think definitely what's her name, Shadra, definitely has the potential to be a really interesting character, and definitely she'd be a dimensional being, and if I had to put money on it, I'd bet she'd be Mystic. So yeah, that's Shadra. Very interesting character. I did not know who she was until now, and yeah, very 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 sick if I do say so myself. Next up, we got the Beetle. Now, the Beetle is an interesting character, because there's not just one Beetle, as you can see. There's not just two Beetles, as you can see. There's not just 3, but there's over 11. And so the question is, what Beetle are we going to get? Are we going to get a combination of all 3? Possibly. But each Beetle is similar, so I doubt that will matter. So it's really like, who's going to be the person in the suit? Is it going to be Abner Jenkins? Don't think it's going to be Leo Davis, because deceased. And we have the current Beetle, Janice Lincoln. Now, I'm thinking it would either be Abner Jenkins or Janice Lincoln. The reason I say that is because, Abner Jenkins, he is the original Beetle, and you have Janice Lincoln, who is the current Beetle. And it doesn't really matter which one is which, because they're both similar. They both do the same things. They have the same Beetle suit, but I'm just saying, I think the Ultimate Beetle looks so cool. I would love the Ultimate Beetle so much, but I think that's unrealistic. But if I had to put money, I do think it is going to be Janice Lincoln. Now, why do... Ooh, I'm going to click on the wrong thing. Now, why do I think that? Because in the, I guess the showcase image of Beetle in the Summoner's Choice, the thing that, showcased all the characters, it looks to be a more feminine physique and like a much smaller, less broad character. And so that's why I'm thinking it will be Janice Lincoln. And also, it just makes sense because, she is the current Beetle, so, just makes sense. And as you can see, she would be Sinister 6, and because she's wearing like this tech suit, most likely going to be a tech character. And yeah, basically how this version of Beetle got her armor, got the armor, it's because Baron Zemo and the Fixer provide Janice with the suit of Beetle armor. And yeah, so that's her whole thing. Now let's get into the abilities that she would get, or that Beetle would probably have, or that the Beetle does have. Obviously the suit armor, good durability, provides her with the ability to fly and shoot lasers, your standard thing, and she can fly really fast. So very very basic character. Don't really know. I don't really know to expect just because it is so like broad, but probably he would have like some kind of armor up mechanic because he wears armor. If I had to guess, because he is like Beetle and Bug themed, maybe some kind of power sting mechanics, or definitely something to do with his lasers. So energy, damage. I'm thinking, but yeah, this is the one character where I'm like, yeah, what do you do with Beetle? So he or she, depending on the one, is just there's like so many things you could do with, because it's just so broad that to me. But yeah, that's Beetle. Very very tricky one because don't really know what to expect. But again, Beetle, he was such an old character, like an original Spider-Man villain, that I think he's due for this game. So I would not be mad if Beetle won. I would not be mad if any of these characters won. They're all pretty cool, but yeah, Beetle would be really cool. All right, next up we got Blob, and Blob, this one's gonna be really short because instead of having this like really long, maybe like complicated origin story, he's just a mutant. And so yeah, we can just go all the way down to his powers right now. And oh yeah, of course, Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. So he's probably gonna have that tag because he is a prominent member of that group. I'm actually surprised it took us this long to even like to get him. And right now it's like he's only just like a community choice vote. So it's really weird to me. I thought like we don't really have many more mutants, or I guess like well-known mutants, to my knowledge, really, that need to be in this or need to be added into this game. It's really just like I can think of Blob, Mystique. I don't think we're getting Franklin Richards. There's a couple other ones. Sunfire. Yeah, there's only like a couple. Armor was in a couple of community choices, and Dazzler. But this isn't about them. But yeah, so going back to Blob. Obviously, his power is relates to his mass, and he's able to turn that into strength. He's able to turn that into like tankiness and absorption, all that kind of stuff. So, when it comes to his kit, potentially, it's really weird because I'm like, he has like the components of a defender more so than an attacker, unless he uses his defensive abilities into like outputting attack or outputting DPS. So it's a really interesting character. I'm really drawing a blank when it comes to like how this character would play as well, but it'd be really cool to get Blob. Again, same thing with Beetle. It's just like such an OG character that I'm surprised did not make it into this game yet. And I think with pain immunity right here, he'd probably get some kind of like indestructible, and again he'd probably get some kind of unstoppable and blockable effect, but he'd also be able to like reduce damage by a ton, and maybe he can like output that as like extra DPS. So I feel like Blob would definitely be an interesting character. I'd love to see Blob in the game because again, he is just such an OG character. And going with the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants tag that he would definitely have, I don't see a world where he wouldn't have that, is I have been looking towards the Eternity of Pain Korean's challenges again, because I've yet to complete that. And yeah, just keeping an eye out for characters, like newly released characters with certain tags, is pretty important. Pretty important to me right now, and could definitely help more players. You know, especially with the monthly event quests. How sometimes you want certain characters with tags, and just other challenges with tags. So I think just looking out for those also would be really cool. But yeah, Blob again would be a awesome addition to the game. Would love to see how he plays. I think he'd have a very, very interesting and fun play style. But again, that's just speculation. We are moving on to Shriek. Alright, so here is Shriek, and this is the picture of that they used in the community showcase thing, showing all the characters. And yeah, again, her design is really clean, really sleek. I think it's really interesting. And if you didn't know, the one girl who was Carnage's love interest in the Venom 2 movie, that was Shriek. So this is who that character, this is who Shriek is from the movie, if you're familiar with Venom 2. And same thing with Blob. You know, the way she gets her powers is she is a mutant. And yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. Just born with the powers. And yeah, so what her powers is like sonic, you know, basically sonic screams and that kind of stuff. She's able to create like high frequency like blasts with her voice. And so it's very similar to Black Bolt, though not as powerful, because again, Black Bolt can destroy a city with a whisper. And yeah, she can't. Don't believe her power is to that extent. But it'd be interesting to see what they would do with Shriek, because you know Black Bolt came out so early before all these like crazy abilities were, and like just like the champion builds were to the extreme that they are now. So it'd be kind of like a little insight on what a modern Black Bolt would look like. And also she has this ability, Dark Empathy, which basically allows her to cause like people to go insane, which I think would be really cool, because then she would kind of have this like ability, like the ability to like kind of manipulate the AI, which is always awesome. Like maybe some kind of taunt, incinerate, or intimidate, that kind of stuff, or maybe even a little bit of all three. And then yeah, so same going along with that, she has emotion inducement, which can induce fear, hatred, and despair. So yeah, again, ability AI manipulation. I love it, AI manipulation. You know, Hercules just being able to infuriate them, and then you can just go get those intercepts. Beautiful. Love champions with that ability. So yeah, she would definitely most likely be a really fun character to players who like manipulating AI, as do I. So yeah, that's Shriek. Again, dude, I think she looks really cool. I hope they use this design. It just looks so clean. But yeah, I think we're going on to Swarm now. Okay, everyone, so now we're on to Swarm. Fritz von Muir, or Mayor, I don't know. But yeah, this is Swarm. I was unfamiliar with like his background exactly, on like what, like I knew who he was. He was like, I played him in Strike Force, so I definitely knew of him, and he was like my GOAT whenever I played that game. But I don't do that. I don't play that game anymore. But yeah, when I played it, he was the GOAT. So yeah, he's very cool. I would love to see him in game. And yeah, Fritz von Moor was once a Nazi scientist. I read that, and I was like, okay, they're off to a good start. You know, maybe some Hydra synergies, I don't know. And yeah, it gets revealed that like he fled Germany because, you know, he was kind of like swarmed out there, no pun intended, because he was funding his research with gold he looted from European capitals, and then so he moved to South America, where he started studying toxic poisons and you know, about bees and stuff like that. But while he was researching and, you know, going deep into the forests of South America, he found this really weird magical nest that just was really weird and off. And he thought he can control the bees. You know, also it's important to mention that those bees were just like, they had no sense of like, what's it called? They were just completely passive and like they lacked a killer instinct. And so, believing he can control the bees, von Muir, he believed he can create a device to reawaken their killer instincts at his control. However, obviously, something always goes wrong, and so yeah, something did go wrong, and the bees attacked him and killed him. But not only did they just kill him, but his consciousness dissipated into the swarm of bees. So basically, every bee is him. He doesn't control the bees. He is all the bees, which is pretty cool. It's very interesting. I like that idea. It's very, very, very interesting. And again, he looks cool. I think definitely with like the cloak and the purple, just it matches so well. And not only that, but he can also control or talk to and communicate with other bees. So he can continuously create his swarm. No pun intended. But yeah, that's Swarm. And we're going to go into his abilities. Again, Living Hive, he is all the bees. And again, durability makes sense why it's a 7, because the only way to kill him is to get rid of every bee. We don't want to get rid of every bee. But yeah, obviously, what comes with bees, there's poisons and venoms and all that kind of stuff. So I imagine he would have some kind of power sting mechanic, because he'd most likely be a science champion. And I don't know, it's just this cycle of like bug themed science champions have power stings and poisons. So it just makes sense. But I think he would definitely be a very interesting character. I would love to see him in game. He would have some really cool animations, no doubt about it. Alright, now we got Viper, or Madam Hydra, as she is often known as. Like, I first heard of Viper through Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, that TV show. And yeah, I knew her as Madam Hydra. And then later and later, I was like, okay, who's Viper? That kind of looks like Madam Hydra. And I was like, oh no, that is Madam Hydra. She just has different aliases. So it's pretty cool. I think there's a lot of stuff you can do with Viper, or Madam Hydra as I know her as. And yeah, Viper, she was like an orphan, but then was like adopted by Hydra and trained to be like this absolute killing machine. And yeah, obviously she went up the ranks and ranks and ranks, and she's like one of like Hydra's like top members, which is crazy. She's part of like their inner circle and everything. And yeah, she's like this really trained killer. She doesn't really have any supernatural abilities aside from the fact that she, like, due to slowly becoming immune to poisons over time, she finally became fully immune to poison, which is really cool. Very, very interesting. So she would definitely come into the contest with poison immunity, and I definitely think she would be a skill character more so than a science character, because she doesn't have any powers. It's all about like she was really well trained in combat. And again, toxin immunity, as you can see right here, Madam Hydra has rendered herself immune to most toxins via controlled exposure. So yeah, she just made herself poison immune, which I do not recommend trying at home. I do think cool things that they could do with like fleshing out her abilities more and more is, the use of her equipment, which is a teleportation ring, which is pretty self-explanatory, and protective battle armor. So that's basically just her green Kevlar armor, which is also metallic and gives her protection in dangerous missions. So maybe they can do some kind of stuff like that, but for the most part, she would definitely be a skill and a poison based champion, because also she kind of dips all of her weapons in poison, so make sure to inflict opponents with poison. So definitely don't see any other way she would be like her kit would be, other than based around poisons. But I don't know. Again, speculation. We speculate here, and yeah, that's Madam Hydra, or Viper, as she will probably be in game, because that's what they're releasing her as. And yeah, that's Viper. Okay, next up, we probably have the wackiest and goofiest character, Ruby Thursday, or as her real name is, Thursday Rubenstein. If that's not a supervillain name, I don't know what is. And essentially, she has this long origin story, yada yada yada. Doesn't really matter, because I know what you're thinking. What is on her head? Well, Thursday Rubenstein was a scientist and doctor who replaced her head with organic circuitry, and she wants to she turned to a petty life of crime, and she just involves in all this kind of stuff. Like, I was looking for like a origin or whatever, and yeah, this really isn't it. It just talks about her petty life in Las Vegas, where she stole some Omega the Unknown and Gramps Gramps' winnings, but that doesn't matter. You just want to know where she got that head from. And yeah, she also wants to turn all the people's in the world's heads into organic circuitry, just like hers, for some reason. But that's okay. I'd let her turn my head into organic circuitry. Like, dude, she really just looks like Mysterio if Mysterio had the body of a hot woman. But yeah, going into her powers. Ruby's head has been somehow replaced with a mass of organic circuitry, a malleable red plastic that can mimic all proper functions of a human head: thinking, seeing, hearing, speaking, and presumably breathing and eating. Don't know where where she eats, but who knows what that mouth do. It also allows Ruby to exercise a number of powers. What are those powers? They are organic circuit constructs, shape-shifting, regeneration, ejection head reflexes, energy blasts, and energy explosions. So, yeah. See, I feel like she might just be a modern Mysterio, where it's like all about the head. The head is really the thing that does all that stuff. And with Mysterio, it's like, you can crack his helmet, and then it kind of turns off a lot of his abilities. With Ruby Thursday, I feel like she could have a similar kind of a thing as a way to counter her, like if she's ever a defender. But yeah, she has kind of all this stuff, which would be really cool. I see her she's able to do a lot of things like MODOK's able to do with like her force fields, projections, that kind of stuff. That's essentially what she can do. And then also it just notes super genius intelligence, which I guess makes sense if she's able to replace her head with a red light bulb, if you will. But Ruby Thursday would be a weird character to add into this game. Like, as you can see here, she's using the head to create like the constructs and stuff like that. So she's creating like these like large tentacles or whips, or I don't know. Ruby Thursday, as wacky and weird as she would be if she was in this game, I don't think I would be mad if she won. Who knows? I might even be voting for her. Who knows? Maybe I am. But man, I don't want to see any Ruby Thursday slander in the comments, okay? I will be defending Ruby Thursday with all my might. Oh my god. I was not expecting to ever see Ruby Thursday as a candidate to be in this game, but here we are with Ruby Thursday. Alright, last but not least, Black Tarantula. Now, I thought he'd be kind of like a Spider-Man clone, because I'm very unfamiliar with the character. I knew he existed, but I was unfamiliar with him. And reading his origin, or his history, or whatever, it's like, wow, okay, this is pretty cool. So basically, why do I keep saying Brack? This is like my second time recording this, and I don't know, I kept saying Brack Tarantula. It's Black Tarantula. And yeah, so the Black Tarantula mantle has been passed down from father to son for, as it says, 700 years. And, with it comes the powers of the Black Tarantula. And how that happens, I don't know. It just gets passed down. And it's also kind of a, a weird dynamic, because also, the son is separated from their mother by the father early at birth. And what happens is that the current Black Tarantula, Carlos La Murito, he's no different. He obviously finds a wife, makes a son, and then instead of taking the son from his wife takes his son from him and flees to New York. So that's where he goes to New York, and he encounters like Spider-Man and all these other guys, and gets involved with a lot of different stuff. But later down the line, he is involved in the Shadowlands with Matt Murdock, who is trying to, make turn over the hand and make them a force of good rather than evil. So under his leadership, he takes in Black Tarantula, and he also has White Tiger by his side. So it's very cool. We're getting White Tiger next month, so they'd probably have some kind of cool synergies together. And yeah, these are his powers. Again, box standard superhuman strength, stamina, durability, agility, and speed. But he also has these optic blasts. His eyes can project powerful concussive blasts of energy. So he is kind of like Cyclops. So it says concussive blast, so it's not really an energy-based blast, he's kind of punching you with his eyes, essentially. So I can imagine he'd put some kind of armor break or concussion and play around with that a bit. And he also has a regenerative healing factor. And I want to talk about possible immortality as well when talking about the healing factor, because I feel like Black Tarantula would either be a mystic or skill, depending on which one they lean towards. Because Black Tarantula is a character who has died and then come back a couple times under mysterious circumstances, and it's not kind of like the whole death of blank blank. No, he died and then come back, and it was kind of like noted as like this thing is like, is he mystical? Is he not? Like, well, what's the deal here? And as you can see, it is unconfirmed, although he definitely possesses some sort of superhuman longevity. So with him, he would definitely have some kind of immortality ability, because it is such a key component of his character. He's not like some kind of immortal. It's unknown whether he has his ability or not. So I think it'd be on the safe side to put in his kit, because also it's always good to be immortal, you know. But yeah, also he has enhanced eyesight, so he probably has some kind of true strike or true accuracy kind of ability. And yeah, again, master martial artist and master planner. So yeah, he definitely warrants, you know, the skill or mystic debate. You know, I don't really see him being, you know, hard locked on one or the other. It could definitely be either or. But yeah, that's Black Tarantula, guys. Alright, everyone, so that concludes the Who Are These Motherfuckers? And yeah, Summer's Choice 2024. Let me know who everyone's voting for in the comments. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for, but I would just like to get a gauge of like who's like kind of like leading the polls here. I just find it interesting. But yeah, hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you're well informed on who each character is and what they could possibly bring to the table in this game, because that was the ultimate goal for this video. You know, to let you know who's who can do what. Maybe you are going to vote for a character you like based on who they are, or maybe you want to just vote on a character based on what they can do for your account, based on abilities, or possible abilities, I should say. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. But most importantly, vote for who you want, not who someone tells you to. Goodbye.